To get more detail in a report, you use the zoom in command, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. But I want to show you examples of a zoom in command for describing what I call page, row, and column headers, or row, column, and POV headers. POV headers and page headers are similar. The page headers in the add-in, the POV headers in SmartView. But let's see what they are. Let's assume that we've zoomed in on the year dimension, and at the next level in the hierarchy are displayed the quarters. And you can see that in both cases, the add-in report and the SmartView report, quarters are displayed as row headers. A row header is called a row header because it describes the data on that row, that individual row. Quarter 1 describes row 3, quarter 2, row 4, etc. The same is true on the SmartView report on the right-hand side here. And we've also zoomed in on the measures dimension, which brought the next level of the hierarchy in, called profit, inventory, and ratios, both reports. And these 4 headers, columns B, C, D, and E, are called column headers because they describe only the data in that row, profit in column B, inventory in column C, etc. But then we have 3 more headers here in the older add-in report in columns B, C, and D, and 3 more headers here in the point of view in SmartView. What do they mean? Well, they both mean the same thing. Back in the add-in, they were called page headers because all of this data is product data, all of it is market data, all of it is scenario data. The product data is not just in column B, market data not just in column C, and the scenario data not just in column D. They describe all of the data in the report. How does that happen? I'll discuss in a moment. The same is true over here in the SmartView report. Anything that is shown in the POV toolbar describes all of the data in the report, not just the data on a row or a column. So how does that happen? Page headers or POV headers always only display one member from that dimension. It does not have to be the top level member of that dimension, just one member of that dimension. That is what makes it a page header or a POV header describing all of the data on the report. That's a very important concept to understand in Essbase. So, the basic conceptual difference between an add-in report and a SmartView report is the existence of this point of view toolbar and also what is called the ad hoc grid. The ad hoc grid are the cells within the spreadsheet of the report. And the ad hoc grid is where multiple members of dimensions are intended to reside. Those multiple members of those dimensions will then become row headers and column headers. It's the visual portion of the report. There must be at all times at least one row dimension and one column dimension. And the core functionality of zoom in, zoom out, keep only, remove only, and pivot are done to the dimensions and members in the ad hoc grid. Whereas the point of view toolbar contains an individual single member of a dimension that describes all of the data in that report, thus comparing it to the older page headers of the add-in. Now that we understand the basic concepts of the point of view and the ad hoc grid, let's do some core commands to create ad hoc reports. And we can use those core commands by going to the Hyperion ad hoc analysis menu and selecting the commands like zoom in, zoom out, pivot, keep only, and remove only. Or we can select them from the toolbar. Zoom in, zoom out, pivot, keep only, remove only. Simple as that. So I'm going to take the year dimension. I select a member of the year dimension, press the zoom in button, and it automatically zooms into the next level of the hierarchy. Whether it zooms into the next level of the hierarchy or deeper into the hierarchy depends upon an option within SmartView, which I won't be talking about in this webinar. Then if I do the same thing with the measures dimension, I select measures, press the zoom in command, and it zooms into the next level of the hierarchy and displays profit, inventory, and ratios. This brings up another point. Whenever you're creating ad hoc reports, it's really dependent upon you knowing your database. what are the dimensions, what are the members in the dimensions, and what are the different hierarchies within those dimensions. So I've zoomed in on year, I've zoomed in on measures, and we've gotten more detail. But maybe we want to bring in product information or market information or scenario information into our grid rather than having it residing in the point of view. And to do that, you simply left click, hold down, and drag product and drop it either over into the rows area or into the columns area. I'll drop it over into the rows area. And you see that I have only one member from the product dimension displayed now. The ad hoc grid can display only one member. This right now is a page header. It describes all of the data in the report. And generally speaking, I want to use the ad hoc grid to display multiple members from a dimension. So just like I did with year and measures, I'll zoom in on product. And now I have two sets of row dimensions. The product rows. All of these are colas rows, all of these are root beer rows, etc. And I've got my year rows. Row 3 is quarter 2, row 8 is quarter 2, etc., etc. And I have an analysis of my products separated by quarters. I can do a similar thing by dragging scenario. I'm left-clicking and dragging up to the columns area. And when it appears there, at this point, scenario is a page header. It describes all of the data in this report. I generally speaking don't want that in my report, so I'm going to zoom in on it also. And now I have the next level in the hierarchy beneath scenario, which includes actual budget, variance, and variance percent way over on the right. And if I scroll further to the right, you'll see that scenario is also out in this report. And now we've encountered something that happens to everybody when they create their ad hoc reports initially. You start zooming in on things and the report gets too large. So if you want to trim down the size of an existing report, then we bring in two other commands, one called keep only and one called remove only. You select a dimension member or many dimension members that you want to keep only from that dimension or remove only from that dimension, and then select the command. So in this case, let's say I want to get rid of all of my year rows, row 7, 12, 17, etc. I select any one of those year dimension members, it doesn't matter which, and I press my remove only command, and all of those rows have been eliminated from the report. I can do the same thing essentially with keep only by selecting either via control click actual and budget as I just did there, or by clicking and dragging since they are next to one another, selecting actual and budget both, and if those are the only ones from the scenario dimension I want displayed in my report, I'm going to do a keep only, and that will remove variance, variance percent, and the parent of scenario. So I press keep only, and now my report only has actual and budget from my scenario. And I can even do the same thing with multiple members from multiple dimensions. I'll select measures from the measures dimension and product from the product dimension. I'm control clicking it. I've selected both. I want to get rid of them both. I press remove only, and now all of the measures are gone, the multiple columns there underneath actual budget, and the one set of product rows is gone. So that's how you can reduce the size of your report by selecting members and using keep only and remove only.